MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by
the highest form of comedy.
MaJaMa.
You're traveling through another dimension, not just of sight and of sound, but of rhymes. Consider the following. A one Mr. Jermaine Williams, stage name Canibus, burst onto the scene in 1998 with cerebral rhymes, potentially one of the GOATs, if he could only keep himself from making confounding decision after confounding decision, the most famous of which was pulling out a notebook in the middle of a rap battle, much to the dismay of longtime fans and the hip-hop community in general. There was also a J. Cole apology video, with edits upon edits, to leave you head-scratching, as well as his belches. But today, on the Canibystery Hour, we'll be diving into the DEFCON 0 interview, where red and blue potions are drunk, things are read off of a sheet, cleavage is highlighted, and in general, we'll all be wondering, what the fuck were they thinking? You are now in the Cannabis Zone.
Canibus, thank you for accepting the interview.
I'm happy to be here.
No.
My insides are dying with the burningness of a chorizo breakfast burrito, but I feel like the headache's gone away. Welcome back, everyone, once again to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss my favorite rapid...
Mine's back.
That's what I do when I do a variation.
Yes.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss my favorite rappers' work to avoid doing our own.
Wait.
What?
This is Scraps.
Do I not do the tagline for Scraps?
I don't know.
Nope.
No.
You say, welcome, we're coming back.
I mean, I was going to go into that after the tagline.
All right.
Let me do the tagline every time. I won't even variate, all right?
All right.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, can I?
I don't care about anything.
Please.
Welcome back, everyone, once again to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. Now, we are back for another installment of what one might say has quickly become our favorite feature here on the show, which is the scraps, the leftover stuff that fell off the table that doesn't necessarily facilitate a full jams, even though with how we rant, it could easily spill into that. But the little tidbits, the weird morsels, the nuggets, the shorter stuff, the randomness, infomercials, interviews, behind-the-scenes
Interracial
DVD
couples.
featurettes, interracial couples, one of the most beautiful things in this world. This is what we are here for. Now today I said to myself, Jason, officially the hip-hop head of the group, even though my brother enjoys it too, but Mateo is always quite an alien to that world of music. I said to myself, why don't you bring the guys into the weird, wacky world of one of my favorite rappers of all time? I am talking about Jermaine Williams, the animal with the mechanical mandible himself, Canibus, who probably... small amount of you know, since I imagine most of the fledgling audience of this is movie nerds as opposed to rap nerds. But Canibus, I should state right off the bat, is one of my favorite rappers of all time. We're going to get into the weirdness, incompetency, and different things that he's done, but I should state that I'm an absolute fan of the music. This isn't a whole hate fest.
I've been finding more and more ways to make relevant music describing advanced topics.
It's just, I saw a Venn diagram of something I used to watch and interview that kind of coincides with our wheelhouse of like Apollonia Brothers, or Enzo Sorrentino, James Wynn, Tommy Wiseau shitfuck fest. So I prepped the guys with a little bit of stuff before. We got into the infamous Canibus battle, where he may or may not have flamed out intentionally. That became the second downfall of his career.
The boy can spit, all right? I prepared for 3 weeks, every day, to come here. You understand me?
Right.
I wrote so many fucking rhymes, you can't memorize all that shit. There's 30 pages of rhymes in this motherfucker. All right? So, all I want to do is spit my shit, all right?
Poor guy. I showed them the J. Cole apology video, which we actually did some research on. 8 minutes of weird jump cuts that would seem to have no other purpose than comedic, Kaufman-esque intense. really sure what's going on. Was it originally posted as 8 minutes? It was 10 years ago. I don't remember. Did someone edit it for laughs? Who the hell knows, like the rest of these things? But what we are featuring today is the interview, 5 minutes, DVD feature for an album called Def Con Zero. Now.
The Canibystery Hour.
The Canibystery Hour. It's not a bad idea, actually.
It doesn't.
It seems somewhat strange to me that our technology outpaces the inherent ability rappers have nowadays.
How did you come across meeting PXO, aka Dagger?
I met Phoenix at the Zen Sushi Bar on karaoke night in Echo Park, LA.
I have rappers that I would think are better, but I feel like this guy is my favorite because no one is this fucking weird. Now, case in point, guys, this interview, where do we even start? So we used to watch this back in the day.
Well, you should tell us a little bit about cannabis.
I just did.
Oh. Did you?
We watched this. We bought this DVD back in the day.
the one who doesn't pay attention.
I mean, when he's talking, it's
We
just
bought this
natural
DVD back
to
in
zone
the day.
out.
Or the CD. It came with a DVD. We said, oh, let's put on the interview.
We decided to do something about it.
And years before us and the Italian would sit around cracking up at these weird little... Hey, put on the beanie, Mateo.
Yeah, it's
We got a rep VizArt video. They have a signed picture of us.
yo.
There you go.
You're in it now.
Yeah.
So, we put on this interview,
Pop the top a little for him.
and before we even got into the world of breaking down these bad movies with Mateo, which would eventually lead to our beloved Bad CJ Sharks,
What are you talking about, man?
I don't know.
we were already cracking up at this
Oh,
before
yeah.
we knew what a bad movie was and before that was part of our shtick here. Because it's just so goddamn incompetent.
The current war effort has affected American families across the world. I'm in no position to judge an ongoing war. I only care for the soldiers and empathize for the fallen, particularly in the USA.
So, our opening shot sets the tone right off the bat. Because we have what is one of many extreme close-ups of a girl's tits and ass.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
Boobs.
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 Chest, and
Troops.
back and lower back area.
Now, one may
Yes.
say it's par for the course. Show a little TNA in a hip-hop video. But what isn't,
In most music videos.
Yes.
but this is a specific thing because we're just going to, let's cut to that first. Also, we should say none of this is going to be edited. Mateo is not editing any of this for hilarity. What you're going to see is the way it plays on it.
Let's bring her out.
Uh,
What's her name?
I don't know.
we have
Canibus?
barely audible audio.
The goal of this project is to project thought forms that return and reflect pure information.
How do you feel about current events? Earth changes, the international political climate.
Well, it comes
have-
in and out. It just kind of drops out. You'll hear his audio. You'll hear his
It
mic.
depends on the camera,
Yeah.
yes.
We have a takeoff on the Matrix cliche with the red and blue vial.
But they're both
which is-
taking one red, one blue. They're
Yes,
each taking a
yeah.
different one. So wouldn't that be two different worlds? Unless that's the whole idea, the two worlds colliding.
Probably. Or simply that they didn't have two red ones.
I mean, I feel like,
It's just two melted otter pops. All we got is a blue and a red. That's all we got to go with.
hey, Matrix colors, everything's working out. Like Rodriguez said, your
Exactly.
mistakes are creative choices.
Exactly as I planned.
I feel like this is the thing, is I could see the vision here, and I understood what he probably wanted.
Is a vision?
Imagine, like, we start off with a gorgeous-looking, the heels clacking down the hallway. It's a psychiatrist's office. It actually looks like Canibus is in, like, a psychiatric thing. He's pensive. He's waiting.
But it's not
the
clear
girl
if
comes.
if he is the patient or if he's the
Well, the sign says
That's your interpretation
yeah,
to figure out
yeah, sure, of course.
the sign says
video.
they're in the women's studies. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Yes.
The sign says they're in the women's
that
studies
intentional,
facilities,
though? Was that a
which probably means they're filming at a community college on the
Yeah.
off hours.
I mean, that
Which
wasn't. Was that framed up or was that just in the background?
Funnily enough, I've actually been
you
part
see
of
it the second take, second shot. You see she's walking and there is writing on the wall.
Damn, it's even more offensive.
You know what's
Someone's
funny?
drawn on the wall with a Sharpie.
I told you, we've got to get this off before the night class comes in. I've actually been part of a rap video that's shot in a college, community college. It's a trainee video. So it's funny that this may be actually what's happening.
You shot a video in our house.
But that one was cool.
And one in mine.
Yeah.
True.
One in the bathtub.
Hey, man. Saw your video. Which one? The one with you in the bathtub.
In high school, kids were hooking up with each other while I was locked inside my room playing with my little brother. Teenage kids learning about drugs and sex while I'm still bugging out over Lego sets. I never kissed, dated, spit, game, or partied at all. Too busy with my Ninja Turtles to be chilling with y'all. Really, it's funny how much money was spent on a bunch of cheap plastic that got broken in bed.
So, we have what I believe is our script for the interview in front of both of them.
They both guys, so it's got it.
And while the glasses indoors, again, is not exactly new, Mateo is right that may be a trick so that he can look straight down and read off of them. Again, I don't understand. This is, if nothing...
But they're not even trying to hide the scripts.
Look...
No, yes, exactly. There's no...
If you tell me, hey, Jay, as we're about to...
Hey, Jay.
Can you rant about something about Andy Kaufman? You
know, who the fuck would ever give you that opening?
You'd think that I would do a decent job, even if I didn't have the poise of a practiced actor. You would think that someone as into it as it could do that. So at the very least, I know, like, he brings up remote viewing and he brings up the state of hip hop and lyricism. At the very least, you would think, if nothing else, this guy is passionate enough to rant about this off the cuff. And yet we get a frigging, again, I'm thinking of the Big Boss Grill, the hostage reading of like, oh, well, that is very interesting because the thing is...
delicious.
Wow, that's really good.
This is so flavorful. This is excellent.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Well, he doesn't want it to, I mean, he wants it to be an interview, but he obviously wants it to be a scripted interview, like you were saying. He wants this to be all the more epic.
Yeah, he doesn't want to forget anything or getting sidetracked as he was talking.
But hit your beats.
In your opinion, has hip-hop lost its edge in reporting the facts?
Hip-hop has become the unseen, unheard harbinger of the people. MaJaMa. How the fuck can someone who's never written a rhyme worthy of a certain caliber really objectively critique it?
What do you see in the near future as far as the development of hip-hop linguistics?
The level of awareness and disposition in regards to communication will increase over the next half a year.
Okay. I was saying, my point, I arrived to the usual point, which is I just simply don't understand. Okay, it's one thing to be like, we only have certain means available. It's one thing to be like, we only have certain means available to us. Although it should be noted that, like I said, this guy started off, kicked through the door, was in mainstream culture for a hot minute, and then I think ended up to the point eventually at this point he was already maybe on more of like a me level, literally. I understand not having the means to do it. What I don't understand is editing the video and immediately jumping into an uncomfortably extreme close-up of the cleavage that just comes in the middle of a sentence, and then as if a 6-year-old
they gotta
was
keep
like,
your interest though.
Look what friggin', I don't even know what's like the Kid Picks version of an editing program, like MS Movie or Apple Movie, iMovie. Like a 6-year-old's like, hey, look what I can do. Yeah. Now it cuts to a square and moves like this.
It looks like that. It looks exactly like that.
I don't understand. And the funny thing is that, like
He's
I
your
said,
hero.
We watched this back in the day. We laughed at it and we said, "What the fuck?" And then I came back to it. I think the main reason I wanted to do this is because I was jarred by how much this stupid little interview clip syncs up with, let's call it, the Polonia language, the language of extreme zero budget incompetent cinema.
Bet this place is pretty pricey.
How may I help you?
Hi, I'd like a room.
Here you are. You'll be in cabin 12.
Thanks. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to be disturbed. Thanks.
And again, a lot of times with these examples, I'm not even saying that as a hater, like most people would watch these things and be like, what is going on here? I'm just shocked by the congruency to all these bad movies we'd like. That's why I'm like, okay, I could probably bring like a Canibus video on for laughs, but it's funny how much this syncs up with the bad movie language.
Without being totally subjective, how does DEFCON 0 outmatch other CD DVDs?
If you don't buy it, someone else will, and the word of mouth will perpetuate a response. Thank you.
So again, it brings down to the question, like, Are you overthinking it? Is it just base level incompetence?
Are you underthinking
Is it apathy? Is it...
Well, because you want the not Dirty Dancing, not Dances with Wolves, not L.A. Confidential, not what is it with when Sharon Stone spreads her legs?
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct. You want that shot where you're in the middle of an interview and you see some badge pop out. So they're trying to do that with the girl awkwardly standing in the hallway and just a close up of her ass. You can see her her jacket wrinkle over the edge of her pants. Like someone's like, oh no, we need to see a little more, so let's pull it up. And then she's just kind of standing there awkwardly. There's even one point where like, okay, smile and kind of looks seductively to the camera, and she's just. So there's obviously you want to force that in there, but they force that in there. Yeah. Where they literally go, well, let's take ourselves out of the interview and show this.
But almost objectively, that cut to the extreme close-up is funny.
It's kind of objectifying women, though.
No, but listen, like this is what I don't understand is that if I told you, hey, I'd like to, and I have told you this, we've done something similar. The rap was that idea of an incompetent interview for comedy.
Who do you think has been the most influential rapper in the whole panorama of modern music?
Well, Chip, if I had to pick one, I'd have to say it would be Tupac.
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 So if I was told you, Mateo, I want to do an incompetent interview, I would tell you, can we cut to a stupid ass...
I'm just drinking.
Could we cut to a stupid ass close-up for comedy? And how you would do it is probably exactly like that, with the jarring nature of how quickly the cut comes and the almost disassociative of from you cutting to here. So again, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but what I don't get is it translates as comedy regardless of intent.
That something like that diffuses the purpose of the interview, which seems
there's a purpose.
It's but it seems talking about important topics.
Yes, to him, yes.
So it's just like if you're making an interview and all of a sudden you have a clown behind you that is just like making balloons.
Well, Sloane Brown has you can see her in the background. She unfortunately is on crutches tonight, so she is. Sloane Brown fell down.
And it's as in the immortal words of Christian Bale.
It's fucking distracting!
What don't you fucking understand? You got any fucking idea about, hey, it's fucking distracting?
First of all...
And they do this several times.
And they do it several times.
And it's 5 minutes and they must do it at what? At least like 5 times? Like once a minute they cut to
They do a lot more than that.
Yeah. And you don't hear...
There's even the box that jiggles when her breasts drop in the frame.
You don't even hear the most of the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about current events, Earth changes, the international political climate? Who are some of the featured MCs on DEFCON 0? Which is your personal favorite?
So it's genuinely is a mystery.
At one time, one of the boxes is just that little statue man going like this.
Yes.
That piece of paper.
Because he has a statue that looks like Steven Seagal doing Tai Chi or something like that.
Maybe it was Steven Seagal. You know,
No, but the thing is that when you're doing something like this, you have to have some kind of a purpose. If you're doing it intentionally for comedic effect, you have to add a wink at a certain point.
Hold on, let me clarify. Is what I'm saying is not that they are doing it for that. I find it interesting that that moment, I don't know if I could say, I want to say objectively funny. So what throws me off time and time, I'm not saying they are doing it. What throws me off is that it translates as such.
Oh yeah.
If I asked you to edit a cutaway in a comedic way, I bet that you would damn near intentionally do it that way. So I'm not saying they are. It's fun to make that argument, but in the end, other than perhaps the 8-minute apology video, which we could speculate on itself. Other than that, I'm usually not actually going to... I'm posing the question, and at the end of the day, gun to my head, Jay, no, I don't think it's Kaufmanism. But what...
If you want to play the game...
The game?
Is it Kaufmanism? Isn't that what it's called?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it Kaufmanism? Yes. Everyone's favorite game show. Is it Kaufmanism?
It's too forced now. I would say... The closest thing would be the interview. Whoever edited it that way.
It's like a purple burglar alarm.
Purple burglar alarm.
There's some Scottish people that kind of say purple burglar alarm. 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 Burglar. Purple burglar.
This video, I think, that we watched before on the TV, which is in that direction, is just incompetent. Someone was like, let's get some B-roll of this girl, and we can use it for something. Let's put it throughout the entire interview.
Because usually when you do inserts of anything,
nothing was inserted, right?
No, I mean the inserts of the girl in the.
That's what the detective asked the scoutmaster.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Do it again.
It's
fine. I apologize.
Sorry, we do this.
Yes.
And film it nonetheless.
And post it. And leave it in the
we
edits.
spend time in
and then promote it.
Can you explain why Mind Control is your least popular release?
Mind Control was recorded in 2001 but released nationally in 2005. MaJaMa. Generation X has been alienated by Generation Y and Z. Our concepts and ideas seem outdated and ineffective to the youth in subsequent situations that have arisen out of complacency.
Can we talk about the rap battle?
Were you saying that you think... You were saying, well, I think if you want to play the Kaufman game out of all of these, then I felt like you said that this one really wasn't. Were you going to say that one was...
Whoever edited the apology video, was going for like, hey, let's make him look stupid, or let's make him look like he's
incompetent,
crazy, on drugs,
you don't
whatever.
Think it was him?
I don't know. From everything we've looked up within the past 5 minutes...
all of our long toiling research over these past 5 minutes.
It points to every article, even like the Ricky Smiley morning show I found. They point to his apology, but never once mention the weirdness of the video, how long it is, or how much it repeats itself.
What's up, y'all? I've seen thousands and thousands of comments about this J. Cole track. Yo, what's up, people? I've seen thousands and thousands of comments about this J. Cole track. Yo, what's up, people? I've seen thousands and thousands of comments about this J. Cole track. Yo, what's up, people? I've seen thousands and thousands of comments about this J. Cole track. What's up, people? I've seen thousands and thousands of comments about this J. Cole track.
Stops, starts, cuts, burps, whatever. And there was an article I found which said, okay, it's a very strange video, but they don't point out. And like, if this dude is going to drop an apology video about J. Cole at the time, it's going to get a lot of attention. They're going to point out, like, this dude's fucking crazy. He didn't edit this thing, or he just released it, or it was raw footage.
And it's if you want to, if the apologies are sincere, as it seemed that they were, definitely you want to do more than one take than if somebody has got a hold of...
Wouldn't it be more sincere if you just do one from the heart?
Well, listen, here's the thing is
once
that...
again,
he wrote this shit down.
Since he wrote this shit.
But he is not good at freestyling, so he has to write everything down.
No, but he seems... oh, you
planned this?
It's a constant thing, because in the rap battle, he reads something that he wrote down. In this interview, he has the script in front. In the apology, he's reading something. So probably he's bad improviser, and that's it. And so he's safer in having everything that he has to do. That's why the takes are all the same, because he's reading that.
I feel like there's a battler spirit where it's like a real fuck you, I'll go down in flames before I concede. And I feel like if you do that as an apology video, let's say that was intentful editing, it comes across as so much more disrespectful than the diss does.
Yes.
Like wanting to apologize and doing it that way. So that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
if I was in that position and I was a weirdo with a cult following, and someone was like, I want you to apologize, and inside I was like, oh fuck no, that's what I would do to be like an even bigger fuck you, which is why I think. I don't know. I'm becoming more obsessed with this as we go down this rabbit hole. Like.
Also, the article I found does have the link to the 8-minute video.
Right.
On the original article, which
I've never seen anything but the 8-minute video. I've never watched a version that wasn't the. And this is all the way back in the day when it first premiered.
The name is something Rip the Jacker. So I don't know if that's his personal account on YouTube or not.
No, because on Facebook, his apology, which is a long paragraph, actually more than one, it seems sincere.
So once,
I'm sorry,
it was written.
It's written. Yes, on Facebook it's
the same thing.
No. It's a much longer dissertation. So, and once again, if you want to do an apology with a video that is discombobulated like that, why even doing it?
I made this video in an effort to turn things around and man up for my mistake. It's tacky, unsophisticated. It comes off as tacky, unsophisticated, and it's just not G. Sophisticated, and it's just not G. And it's just not G.
I mean, if you wanna do a video that says, "Oh,
yes," I mean,
reiterate the fuck you," it seems so weird.
It has to have intent, regardless of who made it.
Exactly.
It's got to have some sort of intent.
So my campus says it was just like, of course, if you take, as I told you, a series of takes of the same line, and you put them together, you look like a fool.
Yeah.
Anybody does. But it was just like, of course, anybody does. If you take, as I told you, a series of takes, of course, of the same line, and you put them together, you look like a fool. You look like a fool. You look like a fool. Anybody does. Of course.
Because it's not even like the raw footage, just him rehearsing and flubbing it and trying it again. It's edited takes.
Yes.
Which is a weird thing.
It jumps back in time.
So, but again, he was like, hey, I'm going to film this, shoot it to so-and-so who's going to edit it for me, and this person had the raw footage, cut it up like this, and put it out there.
And it's just not G.
I think he did.
Maybe it's also something that I didn't see the date when it was posted, because the apology is 2011, I think.
It should be the video's 2011 too.
It is okay, because once again, if you find something after the fact, you say, okay, let's have fun with it. I mean, the apology has run its course.
And plus, shouldn't there be actual edited version? I mean, if we actually cut this down to how long it actually takes to say this apology, it would be about like a minute.
Yeah. But that's why one of the articles mentioned Twitter. So that's why I think that he shot it for Twitter.
Shot it for Twitter.
And then...
Wait, Twitter was...
Like I said, there was a comment that is now deleted. It was copyright. Eric sent me a tweet that is now deleted because I was literally, I'm a psychopathic and having enough free time, and I was assembling the case for Cannabis, Andy Kaufmaning the battle. Apparently there was a tweet from fellow rapper Copyright after like literally the next day saying, I don't think too many people are seeing the gold in Cannabis's performance, something like that, and like hashtag Tony Clifton.
Why did he delete it?
Andy's abrasive. I think his account got suspended. I looked him up again to the net, and there was a new one, and I went back, and it was a certain date, and I think it got suspended.
And it's just not G.
I was literally trying to find that tweet. I found one other thing that I showed Matthew where some guy in a random message board. I wanted to know, was there one other human being that said maybe he's Andy? And I found one other human being on a message board. I literally saved a screenshot. I showed it to him. I can send you all this if you want to put it up. But I wanted at least one other human being to be like, do you think he's kind of Andy Kaufmaning this battle?
But there's a thing also that support the thesis that is not. Because knowing very little, extremely little, of the hip-hop community, if something like this, if somebody would suspect, okay, is that an Andy Kaufman thing, it would have spread much wider.
Well, to be fair, at the time, this captured it for a moment, and it was more on a, like the type of sites you see are big but not massive. It's not like CNN.com. It's not like if Eminem did something like this, but it was a moment where within communities...
But there would be still trace. If when I did the research about him,
plus it seems like articles
nothing
mention it.
Said.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't know if we're talking about whether or not it was intentional, but the stigma of this battle has lived on. At least, for example, when you told me Bruno was being filmed and people in Italy hit you up, like, who the fuck is this guy? Because he, like...
Get me out of this. Get me out of this.
There were waves within the Italian fashion community, if not necessarily the bigger thing.
Denuncia proprio questo qua. È tutta la settimana che arriva sulle passerelle, ok? Tenetelo dentro il più possibile, proprio sbattetelo dentro, ok? Via, per favore!
Ragazzi, siamo giornalisti, cosa state dicendo? Siamo giornalisti, cioè... certo che continuiamo, siamo giornalisti, ci mancherebbe altro.
Within the hip-hop community, the next day it was like, what the fuck? Granted, I should say and point out that the reason why I looked up to see if anyone was saying that, no one was saying that. That was a small fringe. Most people were like, what the I just saw my hero die. What the fuck did you do? You flamed out. This is pathetic. It's like, I want to say...
Referencing the apology.
No, the battle.
Wait, okay, you're on... Are we talking about the battle?
We're supposed to be talking about the interview.
Wait, this whole time you've been talking about the battle or the apology?
I've just switched...
I'm talking in general about him.
Okay. I'm talking about the apology, and you're talking about...
the battle.
Jesus Christ.
Superstar.
Well, it had the same...
No, yes.
And it's just not G.
MaJaMa. So, Canibus, what are you doing these days?
I've been finding more and more ways to make relevant music describing advanced topics. It seems somewhat strange to me that our technology outpaces the inherent ability rappers have nowadays.
But the thing is that, like, for instance, granted, is a bad example of what I'm about to do, but it kind of like is that thing. Kanye West, you say, okay, he's gone off the deep end. If there is a plan behind whatever he's doing now, it must be a wonderful plan, because you don't lose billions of dollars just like that. And everybody is, if you're looking at, and granted, I understand it's contemporary, but there would be a mention about it. About him, not even the Wikipedia page, which is in theory sort of neutral in terms of tells you what happens, it doesn't mention anything of, oh, and then he did this, ha ha ha, because he did this. No, it just like describes what he's doing. So I think that by now, it's over 10 years, it would have come out.
Oh, also, I'm sorry. I should also say, again, that he has said himself, it was a bad time for me. Well, hold on. Actually, this gets deep.
Well, no, it was tacky.
Hold on.
Unsophisticated.
Hold on.
And just not G, no.
Hold on. Oh my God, this is not a scraps at all. This is a 6-hour dissertation, because I just remembered.
Oh God.
The legend of the battle gets deeper. Directly after Canibus released an explanation statement, which was then...
All right, okay. The battle when he read off his notebook.
Right.
Instead of freestyling.
Right.
Not the apology video.
Right. The battle where he read off the notebook, the infamous notebook battle.
And after tonight, the battle rap career will be through. Then I'ma hop into the backseat of your cabin, Mom. What the fuck you looking at me for, Ali? Drive!
Yo, Ellie, shut up. Listen to the man's lyrics. Come on, this is what you guys think.
Turn around here. Yo, y'all don't want to hear this shit?
It was retracted, but immediately after, Canibus released an explanation saying, I have to apologize for this. What happened is before the battle, I was actually kidnapped by aliens who made me re-scramble my brain and told me, and that was the reason why I was on low energy at the battle. So, I know we didn't do this on the battle when we started on the interview. We could probably do it as like the interview being a springboard, but this is what I'm saying is that
I mean, after all this, fuck the interview. I'd rather talk more about the battle.
There's an objective lore to the battle. Push aside. There's an objective lore. There's all these things. There's like why did he have a broken arm? Why did he hold a notebook?
Well, they were saying
they released the thing saying aliens kidnapped me and that's why I did this. He then retracted that. He then came out and said no, like it wasn't any type of fuck you shit. I was in a bad place. He says I was on pain medication because he has broken arm. Again, what I was saying to Mateo, I don't understand how the details sync up. He's got a broken sling, which immediately makes me think of Andy wearing a fake neck brace during his Jerry Lawler battle. He's got a dude next to him, complete open shirt with a beer belly out, like fucking Dr. Gonzo in Fear and Loathing. In the battle, he's got a dude next to him with an unbuttoned shirt.
He doesn't have a beer belly.
The dude next to him with the unbuttoned shirt.
Yeah, he doesn't have a beer.
I've got a belly. Either way,
we all have bellies.
There's little details where it's like those work perfectly.
I mean, guys take off the shirt all the time. It's natural.
It's just so weird. Like he said he was kidnapped by aliens.
Well, did we see the aliens in the video?
Only illegal.
It's funny. I mean, not funny.
No, not at all.
I guess I understand why Mateo was like, hey man, you got to realize, I know you love Andy Kaufman. Not a lot of people know or get or like that. Because I start to talk this out and I'm like, you are talking about like a fucking white militia group. You are on some fringe ass shit. Like no one thinks like you do. And I'm not saying Andy doesn't still have a legion of fans, but it's probably this.
It's fine.
Fucking seizure?
Liquid mouth glove.
Okay, there's paper around for easy cleanup.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Like it's some fringe ass shit, but is it not, when we have these discussions and the idea is always that no, it's not, it's just incompetence or idiocy, whatever the fuck, for all these discussions from Sorrentino on down, is it not amazing?
No.
Is it not amazing what Andy did? Am I the only dude that thinks Andy was literally the greatest thing that ever happened in entertainment? This dude, we have proof it was all intentional. It was all a fucking, however many years he was in the public eye, it was all orchestrated, a symphony of manipulative entertainment. Nice point. Nice point. Very nice point.
Well, my question to you also
I'm saying,
are you seeing things that aren't there in these videos because you are wanting to see Kaufmanism?
This is why I think back, because when I have this memory of Mateo talking to me about Kaufmanism, it almost feels like a dad sat his son down and was like, son, listen, life's a certain way. If you say this, you might get hit. There's dangerous areas. Like, it was almost like, you really got to understand this is some weird shit that not everyone's into. And, like, I kind of get it because, no joke, I can't go back from that. Like, in the end of the day, like I said, at my core, no, I do, gun to the head, I don't think a lot of these examples are Kaufman. I really honestly don't.
And it's just not G.
But I can't go back from discovering what Andy did. Like, I always have those lenses on. I cannot go back.
I mean, that's good in a sense, but I don't think many people
like Andy Kaufman. Give a shit about Andy Kaufman.
Are smart enough to pull off. Trying to do something intentionally bad is very hard to actually accomplish.
Andy was smart
don't
enough.
touch my knee. Is hard to pull off something so bad it's good. We always say it's got to be true birth from the heart, birth from your soul, and then when you fuck up, it's funny because you tried. So I don't think that there's that many people that can pull off something like Andy did. And seeing something like Enzo Sorrentino, he's just a fucking idiot.
Rispetto quando ho chiamato all'ospedale, la ragazza è fuori pericolo, solo distrugge. Ha chiamato il collega dall'ospedale. Sta facendo un buon lavoro, Michele. E lei cosa vuole?
Who doesn't know how to use a fucking camera or have
all
any
that to
concept
say,
of how a story is supposed to be structured?
Andy is God, is what you're saying.
Sure.
No, okay. Give me a short, honest answer. Like, do you guys see what I see, or is it just
Jesus,
like
man,
this
that's
is
like
just
asking
some
us,
weirdo?
what's your favorite? What do you think is most attractive about
Do you know
me?
the point I'm trying to get to?
For
Is
compliments, it's horrible.
No, it has nothing to do with me.
You are obsessed with somebody who made something so unique that everybody worship him, or at least get to know him because he's done something that nobody else has done. It's always been like this with you. You want to do just like this.
Nobody does it better, though.
Nobody does it better, as Aretha Franklin used to sing.
That's Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin.
no,
That's a
I'm sorry.
fun name.
I think it's Shirley Bassey in the movie.
Hold on, he had a point here,
Aretha
goddammit.
Franklin sang it at
He
the
was getting to a
Oscars.
point.
No, but so, yes, you see Andy Kaufman, you say, oh, that's original. Now, anybody else from that point who does that is a copycat, whether you like it or not.
Well, you bring this point up often.
He has a point. You're stepping on his point.
Yes.
No, because
I wasn't done.
Okay, finish, because I have something to say to that.
I'm done.
Oh.
Please, can I finish? Okay, I'm finished.
There perhaps is a point to how unique what Andy did was, but I find it interesting that, and I know you're going to counter with, no, but I said that was specific and unique. These are genres. I know it's what you're going to counter with. But to me, it always comes across as, so Richard Pryor did stand-up amazingly, so no one else can do stand-up again? Steven Spielberg did a shark movie, so no one else can do it better? No one else can do this? Like, what about Sacha Baron Cohen? What about friggin' Tom Green? Like, clearly you can go on the medium again.
Very true. However...
You just don't want me to do it because you're scared my dumbass will get hurt.
No, I don't give a shit. But it's
He was counting on it.
plus you've done it already. So no, the thing is that the Sacha Baron Cohen and everybody else who was a provocateur, still, yes, they are fearless. Still,
they're not as good.
No, they want a career. And sometimes Sacha Baron Cohen pops up in movies like Sweeney Todd.
Mr. Toad, Signor Pirelli. Come deve?
Whereas Andy didn't. He hated Taxi, and everything was genuine.
Exactly.
It gets better and better and better. This is what I'm saying.
And so that's the thing. It's
tattoo.
It's since right now mankind is driven by money.
And sex.
More money than sex, or sex for
because
money.
you can buy sex
Yes,
with money.
Exactly.
So money above that.
That is why you rarely will find somebody. Either you find somebody who is from an extremely wealthy family, so you say, "Oh, I can do this because I don't give a damn because I have backup plan with money and stuff." But almost every single one of the elements you mentioned, they are not on a point that say, "I don't give a damn of what I'm doing. I'm just like."
And all that just made me fall in love that much harder because dude didn't give a fuck. You're right. That is hard to find. And when they can smell it's false, there's nothing more There's nothing more attractive when they can smell it's genuine. There's nothing more disgusting when they can smell it's false.
It was also a different time.
Yes.
Andy had that to his advantage.
Internet.
Yes.
Ruined everything.
And also being a pioneer.
Tom couldn't even do what he did nowadays. Every fucking TikToker's doing it. Fucking, I'm on the street acting weird. All I see is Tom. Tom, you're late to the party.
What did Andy
Cut
ask?
the clip of Hollywood and Handicapped in Hollywood and Jason's late to the party himself.
The what?
When I would go out and do this stuff. Anyway, continue.
What did Andy ask Elvis for? Fame or career?
He said, I'm going to be famous one day like you. And then he said, I'm sure you will, son.
He bite him?
Listen, we're going to do an Andy episode, so as much as I'm in heaven right now, I'm going to say one thing.
Well, holy shit, I just realized you just double dipped.
My fans and the Cannabis Brotherhood have become too advanced to accept conceptually mediocre material. I understand, and so do they. Thank you.
Okay, one last anecdote just on this. Matthew...
Not Andy Kaufman.
Okay. So back to cannabis.
Swallow that.
It's a really good one. I guess after Mateo's rant, we're just going to have to say...
Was it a rant?
That cannabis was...
incompetent.
And it's just not G.
Simply just incompetent in making choices out. You know what I think? This is what I think. And to people watching this, maybe the word triggers some people who aren't the show and are cannabis fans. I'm a huge fan, all right? We're not making fun. I'm a genuine fan. But
we'll always have Rip the Jacker.
We'll always have Rip the Jacker. Amazing beats, amazing beats. Even Mateo might like the instrumentals.
There's also a werewolf in there. Werewolf quotes.
Werewolf? Oh yeah. But it's like a beautiful music prodigy, and they get on the piano and it's virtuoso like you can never understand before, and literally anything else they're like, that's what's absorbing the brain. My life is this. Dude is just a hyper berserk cerebral oddball lyricist, and anything beyond that is like, I don't know, edit the video that way. I don't know, that looks like, can we do a parade of album covers, dude? These are some of the worst album covers, I swear to God.
There's a bunch of C's.
Many of them are, but there's one where he's like, it's in the spirit of the video because it's him reaching for a mic in the desert, and it just looks like a bad Photoshop job. But you know what, Mateo? Loving as much as I do, you're probably right. I think this dude just has a bad ear for everything, bad
Except
with
for
business
music. I mean, it doesn't...
Honestly, even his beat selection. Like, as an MC, you want to pick the right beats to facilitate your style as a lyricist to have that marriage.
What?
The beats are so
That's how it works?
bad.
I never would have figured.
And it's just not G.
I would appreciate your dismissive comments about my culture.
It's just a joke about
the beat. So many beats are, and again,
fact that
this is a stigma. This is a stigma with him. A bad beat picker. You cannot pick beats for shit. So
can we cut to someone in the field picking beats, please? This is a bad. Is that good?
Yeah.
That's bad. That's good. That's bad.
I'm helping to pick a box of strawberries.
No, but many times, plenty of times, if you are extremely good at doing something, it doesn't mean you're good at doing everything. Case in point, one of the notorious and extremely polemic point is Stanley Kubrick, very good director. Nobody has anything to say about it. Shining, very bad horror movies. It's just like it doesn't work as a horror movie.
It's a very hot take that we're going to need to spend an entire episode on.
But it's a different thing. It gives you.
If you change the genre name, that's your main
it
qualm.
It gives you.
You knock that out. You don't have anything to say.
It gives you an atmosphere.
But what genre would you put it in?
More of a psychological thing.
You know what? I think we should dedicate a whole episode.
But
to
I
that.
mean, if we're gonna boil these down to like seven genres, it has to go to horror category.
Yes, but one of the things that, for instance, Stephen King pointed out, and rightfully so, he committed the cardinal sin of destroying the suspense of a scene in The Shining when Shelley Duvall finds out that he has only written all work and no play, and she is going through the pages one by one by one by one. Every single horror has that. There's a crescendo. You have an interruption, either the axe on the desk or a hand or something. Instead, he cuts from miles behind her.
How do you like it?
It just destroys that. That is it's from somebody who does not understand the language of a horror movie. So
talking some wild shit.
You cannot do that ever.
And it's just not G.
We're gonna have a whole episode on that.
Forever.
Forever.
Other than that,
but who the fuck is editing the video? Because with the interview, I don't think it was him.
But that's the
thing.
Yeah,
he was behind the desk.
I think that he was just like saying, "Do this because it's." I've seen.
You know, he's probably you. He's probably like, all right, whatever. Yeah, I need to get home and just be in a dark room.
It's possible.
What
like
the
that.
fuck?
I've had.
I'll put the lights on.
A long time ago, I had to edit an interview of a guy who filmed a whole interview with the camera tilted. So the interviewee was horizontal.
Oh, let me shift my head.
Yeah, and I was saying, I cannot flip it. I mean, you shot it like this. I cannot turn it up. And I say, no, but it's interesting because it gives a different perspective. And I say, no, it's just like.
Was he trying to say it was intentional, or he trying
no?
To...
He was in an interview of a gas station attendant. So,
no, I mean, was it... okay.
But that was the thing. It's
wait, why?
I don't know.
What a value would they have to say?
That's beside that. But it's if you're doing something that you want to give a meaning, you have to have a plan. and that video clearly doesn't have a plan.
Who are some of the featured MCs on DEF CON 0?
Cool G Rap is featured on A Letter from Head Trauma. K Solo is featured on Sit Your Hot Ass Down.
You know what?
And then it ends abruptly, and I don't know.
That I think is the YouTube video.
Yes.
I don't want it to be because I want the comedy of it ending there, but...
Can you elaborate on the science of remote viewing?
I personally invite you to sign up and join the...
Let's not talk about that.
He mentions remote viewing, and with a laugh that could not possibly seem faker.
Can you elaborate on the science of remote viewing?
But I feel like that says a lot. He's a dude that's into remote viewing. He's a dude that's into aliens. He's a dude that's into this stuff. And
I heard aliens are into him.
You know what, guys? This has been wonderful. I feel like this is still just a drop in the bucket in the weirdness of cannabis. And I feel like Mateo breaking down why no one is coughing has made my Andy obsession ramp up to an unhealthy level now.
I just want to see the entire exchange of him at the end of the freestyle battle when he starts screaming at the audience and telling him that he's going to read off his notebook.
Hey, yo! Y'all came here to listen to rhymes, right? It's 30 pages of rhymes in this motherfucker. All right? So, all I want to do is spit my shit. All right? The man win. All right? Let me spit my shit. Nah, fuck that!
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Y'all don't want to hear the rest of this?
There's 30. I think the guy who was promoting him did a book about it.
I have 30 pages in here.
There's 30 pages of rhymes
He
in this
says that.
motherfucker.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And that line is iconic in a way that, like...
Iconic to who?
If I was going to be Tony Clifton, I would be like, okay, what would be funny...
Stop going on Andy Cobb.
It's exactly how I would treat that type of performance, to say there's 30 pages of rhymes in this motherfucker. And it just tracks. It all tracks as the abrasive character. And you're laughing at it. Because it works. That's what I'm saying.
I was laughing with him, for the record. Was he laughing? Hello?
I hear a sound.
Well, let's all end with...
Your favorite line.
Yes.
My favorite line was...
So cannabis. What did you think? Well, let me get back to the...
Something like that.
They toast, too.
Well...
And I also like when the image moves on a side.
You know what, guys?
Before we end, what song is K Solo featured on?
K Solo is featured on Sit Your Hot Ass Down.
K Solo is featured on Sit Your Hot Ass Down.
You know what, let's end on, the reason I wanted to do this is because that line, spoken in such a monotone, with such a title such as not just Sit Your Hot Ass Down, but Sit Yo Hot Ass Down.
Yeah.
Canibus saying that in that monotone was the oft-quoted one.
Though.
It's still just the K Solo.
K Solo is featured on Sit Your Hot Ass Down.
The point is that you laugh.
You laugh.
You laugh. Guys, you figure out the rest. We'll keep going down the rabbit hole if we continue. It's been interesting bringing...
Or not.
It's been interesting bringing the fellas into this world. Maybe some of you know Canibus. Maybe you do now. He's a weird-ass fucker. I'm glad if I can make even one more person aware of his nutjob ass. Thanks for coming, everyone. We'll be back with more scraps, which are probably way longer than the initial idea was supposed to be. Hey, we'll do 10-minute bites now.
Technically, the episodes are just about small features.
You know what, he's right.
MaJaMa.
Tupac. 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 Tupac.
If I had to pick one, it would be Tupac.
So if you had to pick one, it would be Tupac.
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 Tupac. Tupac.
It would be?
Tupac.
Oh, Tupac. I thought you said Tupac.
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 If I had to pick just one, you're saying?
Yeah, it would be just one.
It'd probably be Tupac.
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 So Tupac would be...
I'm sorry, you're asking...